So guys, I've not made like a PPT for this. It's just a discussion that I want to have with you guys. So couple of things I'll share like with respect to what the next month is going to look like. So from Monday, our kids have their TFI exams, they have their assessments, so which will happen completely in person. And yeah, because they will have assessments, they will not have any classes, they will not even get any homework. So the next week there's not going to be any work. The week after that there's going to be the Diwali break. And I think this their school, I mean school for them will reopen by around 8th or 9th November, max by 10th November, not more than that. So that's what the next 2 weeks look like. It's actually nothing like work related. It's nothing for you guys. No problem, Priyadarshini. Thank you so much for letting me know. So I was saying that the next 2 weeks, you guys don't have any work actually, but post we reopen after Diwali. Our school has shared that schools are going to reopen for our children as well. So our children will have school. I mean, they will have to go to school basically for a couple of hours in the day. School timings will be around 7 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And that also will happen in batches. So like essentially, if you look at it, there's going to be like 2-hour classes for each batch of students. And what we are planning to do post that is that we'll leverage our community center space to take extra classes once school is done, because 2 hours is very less for our kids, right? So that's what we're looking at post Diwali. We're still not planning, like we've not put down a schedule because we are not sure if schools will actually reopen. Like there's certainty, yes, but it will all depend on COVID cases after Diwali for us to be able to be very, very sure. Yeah, but that's what it looks like for the kids, right? So the kids will have school in the morning and then extra classes offline in the afternoon. Now, something that I'm thinking, first of all, is this like, do you have any questions, any thoughts, anything that you want to share at this point? Or if not, then yeah, just give me a thumbs up and then I'll share your role, what I've thought. Yeah. Thanks, Mohit. Cool, perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I'll keep talking then. So what I've thought for you guys is that we're actually, since now we're going to be operating more or less like we're already operating in person entirely. Like we have offline classes throughout the day, and then we get a lot of our kids to stay back for extra support. So virtual classes with volunteers is something that is not working for all children, because when they go in the evening, when they go back home in the evening, they are too tired, or they're too like their phones are not available to them, or they don't have access in the evening as much. Because of that, they are not able to attend your sessions, right? And I know that you guys are dedicated and you guys want those those 45 minutes or 1 hour, that 1 hour in the day with the child, but it doesn't happen on most days. Something that we had started doing was that we had started taking we had started scheduling the volunteer sessions in the center, but the center is a room, right? So when the kids join volunteer sessions from their phone from the center, it often becomes extremely difficult for them to focus, and it's not the best use of time, both for the child as well as for the volunteer, right? So I thought a lot about this. I was reflecting on it, and I really thought that there's a better way in which we can utilize your time, right? And the time that you want to give to this work, and make it extremely purposeful for the children as well in terms of their learning. So what I'm thinking now is that basically, like the volunteers, I mean you guys, can take group sessions. So basically each of you will be assigned a bucket, and not like one kid or three kids like you initially had. You will be assigned a bucket. So say for instance, Priyadarshini and Shreya, random example I'm giving you, Priyadarshini and Shreya have been assigned the HOR bucket. Okay, Mohit and Yuti have been assigned the MOR bucket, and Vidushi and Shirin have been assigned the LOR bucket, for example. What you're going to do is every single day there's going to be 1 hour of learning time in their schedule, which is fixed in the evenings, and that learning time is with the volunteer over Zoom. So every evening, or like every other evening, so that if there are 2 volunteers for each bucket, maybe one volunteer can take 3 days a week and the other 3 days of a week can be taken by the other volunteer, basically. But for the children, from the child's perspective, every single day they will have 1 hour in the evening where they are joining a Zoom call, a group call, and in that call, they're learning with the volunteer and a couple of their friends. So that will help us ensure that in every session there are at least 5 to 6 children joining. If not more than that, we'll definitely push for all 15 or 12, 15 kids to join, but at least 5 to 6 should join on a minimum basis. And this will happen for each bucket. So say we zero in on 7 to 8 p.m. because most of you guys are working. So afternoon or early evening will not work for you. It will not work for the kids also because they have class and then extra class. So we fix that learning time, and in that learning, in that 1 hour, you are reading. So you're, again, we will train you for that. We will tell you what exactly you need to do. So whatever you were doing one-on-one, you're going to do it in a large group. And in those sessions, like, we can also hop in, like we as in me and Rashmi, we can hop in and support you and give you feedback and just monitor, see which kids are joining, who is not joining, and then we can also check in with the kids who are not joining. So this means that essentially you're volunteering for a couple of days in the week. You're giving you're giving an hour of your evening to conduct a group session, which is either a reading session or like a mix of reading, feedbacking. So all kids have sent the homework to you and you're doing like a quick feedback call. You're just solving doubts or you're just solving the worksheet for them if you feel like they didn't get it. But you're doing that in a group and you're giving them the chance to learn from each other as well. This would mean that, yeah, you are not working with a specific set of children, like 3 children like you had, like you were earlier. You're working with a bucket, and what exactly you need to teach in those Zoom sessions will be told to you when the time comes, like a little closer to when the schools are reopening. We'll have a call and we'll train you for that. Yeah, so this is what my thought is. And yeah, I will actually pause here. I have spoken a lot, 5 minutes. How is this, like, how does this sound? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you, Priyadarshini. Yeah, so I just felt like a lot of you have been giving your time, but the response has not been what it should be. So this will just help us use your resources in a much more efficient way. And as a fellow, for me, it's impossible to join like 7-8 Zoom links, right? And see and give you feedback because I have my own class only till 8 o'clock, 7-8 o'clock. So if this is just like this one session in a day, I can always join and see how it's going, couple of days in the week, and share feedback. Okay, Shreya and Pradarshini are saying great. Yuti, Vidushi, and Mohit, waiting to hear from you. Okay. Mohit is giving me a thumbs up. So that means you are in alignment. Okay. Vidushi is saying sounds good. Okay, perfect. So I'm seeing that a lot of everyone actually is in alignment with this. Cool. So starting this after the Diwali break only. Right now there is not much work. There is nothing actually. One more thing that I want to share is about the tracker. This would mean that you are not updating the weekly tracker that you used to update. We will be asking you to give kids feedback. Suppose if I'm Vidushi and I'm allocated the HOR bucket, the fellows will be asking the kids to share all their homework with Vidushi Didi, and because she's like the volunteer for that bucket, and you will be looking at the work to share feedback on the Zoom call, but you won't be updating the tracker, right? Because it's a lot of children. So I was also thinking if any one of you guys, so I know Vidushi, you help us with the homework agenda, but I feel like that is not helping us so much right now. I mean, as in like from an idea point of view, it's not helping because the problem is that people are not updating the tracker. So I was thinking if maybe any one of you, whoever is interested, if one of you can take the ownership of helping us out with the tracker completely, right? So there's ownership on only one volunteer to update the tracker. That will mean additional work. That will mean like an additional hour of, from your week to do this. So whoever is interested and has bandwidth for it, let me know. We have a tracker that our children update on a daily basis. It's their own tracker. So if you are a volunteer who agrees to do this, you will be looking at that tracker. You will be looking at the student tracker and updating the weekly tracker once a week, which will take about 30 to 45 minutes extra. So Vidushi, the practice that you had started of homework agenda sharing, it will not be relevant right now because we're stopping volunteers updating tracker. We are moving to just one volunteer updating. So let me know, Vidushi, if you'd like to take this up now that the homework agenda sharing is not going to happen. But think about it, of course. But yeah, this will just mean that, guys, you'll not be updating the tracker. You will be definitely giving feedback to kids on that Zoom call. And we'll share how and like what that will look like when the time comes. But yeah, that's one more thing that I wanted to tell you guys. Yeah, let me know if this is also making sense. Thank you, Vidushi. I don't think I explained myself properly. I also got confused there. So if you have any questions, like just ask, okay? Because yeah, I'm actually just thinking about it with you guys right now. I don't want to put anything down and then realize that it's not going to work, because a lot of things are changing. Like for the longest time, we were operating in an online and offline, like in a blended world. But now it's like 90% on offline, 10% online. Like only 2 classes they have Marathi, Hindi, which happen online. That's everything else happens offline. So now we are changing the volunteer system as well because of that reason. Cool. So if you guys are giving me thumbs up, that means it makes sense. One more opportunity that I feel like I want to share with all of you is that if you guys have any interests, any hobbies, anything that you feel like you want to share with the kids, now that the role has changed, now that your role has changed from what it was earlier, we're also thinking of having one session every Saturday, which is driven by a volunteer. So this will actually give you a lot of exposure as a teacher, as a mentor, to conduct a Zoom session with the entire class. And it can be an activity session. So any hobby that you might have, or any interest that you might have, if maybe you're very passionate about sci-fi, random example I'm giving you, and you want to show some documentaries to the kids and talk to them about it, or if you want to have a discussion with them about, or a debate, anything basically that you feel like you'd want to have as an experience, because of, from working in a Teach for India classroom and interacting with children, then we're opening that up as well. It will, we're mostly going to have one activity session yes, Yuti, Rashid is amazing at drawing. So anything that you feel like you want to share with the kids, and you now have like the platform of sharing it with all of them, like whoever attends the online class, but around 30-40 of them, 30-35 of them, then do it. Can be literally anything. So this is something that is completely based on you and your interest and willingness. But if there's anything that like that that you'd like to share, then we can make that happen as well. But in summary, what your role is now going to be is that we will be dividing you into assigning you buckets, and you will be taking Zoom sessions. Either both volunteers in one bucket can be there for the same session. It will be easier if suppose 10 kids join, five kids are working with one volunteer, 5 are working with the other in breakout rooms. That can happen. But if your availability is not allowing you to do that, then you can take separate sessions, and the other volunteer, your co-volunteer can take on days when you are not available. But you essentially will be working closely with your co-mentor in this type of a setting. Yeah. But it's going to be like that now. It's going to be group sessions as opposed to individual one-on-ones. Yeah. That's it, guys, from my end. The next couple of minutes, I'll just open up for questions, thoughts, clarifications, or anything else that's on your mind. Yeah. I'm going to also pause the recording.